Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar got married in July 1984 for love and to make their union a reality. They decided like everyone else to have children, yes, but as the couple claims a very Christian upbringing, they decided to let nature do its job. In other words, they never tried to adopt a contraceptive method, thinking that children are a gift from heaven and that you should never put yourself against the divine will. This resulted the couple today has 19 beautiful children and a granddaughter who died in 2011. The mother had 2 pairs of twins among her descendants, and each of these births spaces on average 15 months. The first of the siblings was born in 1988 and the last in 2009. What makes the family even more atypical is that it leads a lifestyle punctuated by religion. They devote time, every day, for prayer, for school, at home, and does not have a television, and opts for a rather special dress code, as you can see, and the girls are not allowed to wear pants or short skirts or tank tops. They are only allowed to wear long dresses that go beyond the knees. They do not go to the beach or at the swimming pool and do not get into mixed groups. Of course, in the family one should not even hope to have romantic relationship outside marriage. The children cannot have the right to hug their partners until after the official engagement. The family was so singular that a whole reality TV show was devoted to them. It was named 19 Kids and Counting, but the family was so successful that it seems that we would have watched it, because a few months ago Josh, the eldest son, was involved in a sexual abuse case which immensely worsened their reputation as an exemplary and virtuous family. But hey, they still had their little moment of glory for a few seasons. These 3 individuals you see here live in Middlesbrough, in a small town in the United Kingdom. They are a couple with their baby, and it is anything but a standard family. One day the man woke up with the sudden desire to become a woman. An idea that his wife really liked. She thought it was good because she wanted to become a man. That's how they started the medical procedures to change sex, respectively. Biological father Louise is called Mum by his son, and the woman Nikki, who is now called Charlie, is called Dad by their son StarCloud. StarCloud is used to his atypical parents, and he himself has no sexual identity. From the age of 5 years, StarCloud played with dolls, wears makeup, wears girls' clothes. Star is being raised as gender neutral, with his parents focusing on raising a person, not a boy, and is said to have an understanding of the family's situation, which makes his parents very happy. Even if this situation is very difficult to bear, because he is being teased everywhere because of this unusual life choice and because of the fact that they influence their young children. Nikki and Louise seem to be living their new life very well, and are even very proud that their children are following in their footsteps. Muhammad Bello Abubakar, known as Baba Masaba, was a man of Nigerian origin. During his lifetime the man wanted to lead an atypical married life, a life as a couple. For the Nigerian, having only one wife was too insufficient. He wanted more, much more. It was simple, but he ended up marrying 86 in total. But the most amazing thing is that he had 170 children with all his wives. This may seem huge to you, but Muhammad and his 86 wives seemed to live in perfect harmony. Most of these women were under 30 years old. Some were younger than some of his children. Only there was a small problem of jurisprudence, indeed, as Muhammad was of Muslim faith, and that in Islam a man has the right to marry only 4 women at the same time. He was arrested by the Islamic court in 2008 for ostentatious disregard of religious laws and for legal union with 86 wives. He was forced to keep only 4 wives. The Nigerian refused. Muhammad Bello Abubakar was convinced that God had exceptionally granted him the right to marry so many women that he wanted to. He was still imprisoned, and the funny thing is that these 86 wives and 20 of his 170 children went to demonstrate in front of the traditional court of justice of Mina to support him. The case had finally been suspended and ended when Muhammad Bello died at the age of 93 following an unknown illness. He thus had the last word, and it was ultimately only death that separated him from his 86 wives. Byron and Emily Schlenker. So father and daughter, they look perfectly normal when they have their mouths closed, but once they decide to open it to talk, to eat, or worse to enjoy a good ice cream, believe me, it does not go unnoticed. This, in our opinion, makes them so unique. Well, Byron and Emily are the proud holders of the Guinness World Record for the widest tongues in the world. See how thick their tongues are, it's freaking you out. And again, we have not given you the measurements. Byron's tongue measures a monstrous 8.6 centimeters wide, which means that it is 2 centimeters wider than the iPhone 6. And Emily, who at the time when this photo was taken was 14 years old, is not far behind her daddy. With her tongue 7.3 centimeters at its widest point. Obviously that's what is so nicely called biological heredity. Emily did discover their peculiarities by pure chance, when Emily one day pulled a copy of the Guinness Book of World Records from the library for a school project. Byron was instinctively drawn to the record of the man who at the time held the record for the widest tongue in the world. It is from there that it was born in them the desire to appear in his place. They went to have their tongue measured and managed to exceed his record. The tongues for Byron and his daughter. Eating a lollipop takes 2 seconds, and it only takes 2 strokes of the tongue to finish an ice cream. Today the father and his daughter are real celebrities in their hometown of New York, and to go from shadow to light all they had to do was open their mouths. Are you the type of a person who doesn't like to wipe your hands with the same towel as the others? Does not sleep on a pillow that doesn't belong to you? Wash your hands 10 times every quarter of an hour? Using 3 liters of hydroalcoholic gel per week? Do you want us to show you your opposite? I think this video will shock you. I'm even sure the Pink family lives in the United States, and it is the dirtiest family in the world for the sake of economy. And the couple and their children adopt a rather disgusting lifestyle, and yes, let's call things by their name. We are not going to talk only about the hygiene side of this family. Every day the members of the whole family take their bath, so far it's fine, but in the same water? Yes, you heard that right. In addition to refraining from turning on the light in the toilets, they wash themselves one after the other in the same dirty water. Thought a little of the last one who passes through the toilets. The Pink family does not use toilet paper but newspaper that they have collected. Once used, they do not throw it away or flush. It costs too much. They require you to put it in a plastic bag. Did the smell reach you from where you are? Let's not even talk about the ridiculous amount of soaps they all use together in a month. It's right, all this sickens you. And the only thing you want is to go and have a good hot bath to eliminate all the thoughts that have soiled your mind, and make sure at the same time that you are not like them. Philippe, his wife to his daughter-in-law and their son live in France in the Seine, Saint-Denis, in a small pavilion. The family has an almost ordinary life. We said well almost because what makes them unique is that, in order to spend as little as possible and keep their strain very close to them, they meet almost all their vital needs for free. Philippe is the only one who works in the family, which complicates for him the hard task of providing for the needs of all the family. If you see him cling firmly to these pieces of paper and live through them lovingly, it is because his sheets are very dear to him. And here is why. This is the precious list which contains all the addresses which invites citizens to come and test their products for free. The simple Philippe has made it more than a passion, a real profession. He tests absolutely everything for money, or free, products. No more need for buying cleaning products. For food products, Philippe tries to scrape as much as possible on everything that is free in the coffers of the supermarkets. They pay with gift tickets at the gas station. Also to eat out and test food products in their factories, he also cuts his hair in hairdressing schools with students. He really leaves nothing to chance. His wife and his daughter-in-law also got into it and seems to have taken a liking to it, especially when it comes to cosmetic products. Even little Alexander is ready to play and participate by testing the quality of baby biscuits and diapers. It's true that in the long run it's tiring for Philippe to always have to count everything and not be able to have fun with his own money, but seeing the enthusiasm that is reflected in his eyes every time they manage to save a penny, we can see that he doesn't care if they treat him like real pliers, since had almost free. In 2004 Linda Bannon got married to Richard Bannon. The couple very quickly wanted to expand their family, but during her pregnancy Linda was warned by the doctors that her child was not normal. The doctors told her that her baby had a good chance of being born with Holt-Oram syndrome, a rare genetic disease which leads to abnormalities in the upper limbs and the heart, and that he was probably going to be without arms like her. She hesitated a little to tell the truth. She was offered to terminate the pregnancy. Linda refused to. Timmy is now 15 years old, but has already had to undergo several emergency operations and spent the first 2 months of his life in the intensive care unit. Against all odds, Linda and her son lead an almost ordinary life. They like to cook together, practice sports. She goes to work while he goes to school. Linda takes very good care of her son and ensures that he is not psychologically affected by his disability. She dresses, swims with him and brushes her teeth next to him. Linda is studying for her part to later change careers and become a psychologist coach, after having worked for years as a teacher in kindergarten. It was certainly not very easy for her to work everything, taking care of a disabled baby, especially since she is in the same situation. But when she sees that today Timmy is promised a brilliant sports career in swimming and taekwondo, she thinks that these efforts have paid off. Linda is the happiest of mums, as she has on top of that succeeded in instilling in her son a great life lesson that no challenge is too big to be overcome, especially when you are supported by people who really love you. Now tell us in the comments what you think of these families. Which one is really unusual? Which surprised you the most? Don't forget to subscribe.